Hello, everybody. So we're talking about guilt today, something I really struggle with. So as a couple of you trickle on in, yesterday I was attending a conference, the Entrepreneur Edge, a women conference. It was amazing. I met lots of fabulous women there, learned a lot, and it was a great opportunity for me to, just like learn and absorb. And one of my life mottos is always be learning. So it was great. It was a great opportunity to network, learn, and I love going to conferences all the time. Personal development is like my jam. And, this one in particular was really awesome. It was very women focused and spiritual based, and not spiritual in religion type way, but like really tapping into ourselves and using our inner strength and our inner faith and knowing, beyond a shadow of a doubt that we always have the power to do what we want kind of vibe. So very much along the lines of my vibe, for those of you that know me. So conference was awesome. And all day, it was very weird. I was off. I did not sleep well the last few nights. I'm not sure why. But I was feeling really tired and just not myself. And I was sitting there at the conference being really hard on myself. Half of me really wanted to be there. I was like, yes, I'm so stoked to be at this conference. John's covering our workload. I feel so grateful, blah, blah, blah. And then half of me was like, Jesus, I just want to lay in bed and go to sleep. And we all have those days, right? And as I'm sitting there and listening to all these empowering stories and, the struggle and the hustle, and this is what we do as entrepreneurs, and we need to, have the blindless faith in ourselves, and all these tips and tricks that I am well aware of. And here I am sitting in this chair being really hard on myself and feeling incredibly guilty for the fact that I'm not 100% present and all in. And then the universe always gives you gifts when you need them, right? So we started in the conference talking about vibrational levels and how I'm actually going to get my notes. Bear with me. We're going to go on a little walk because I'm going to get my notes from it, because what we talked about in regards to guilt and the vibration, the energy vibrations that guilt can give to you, it was really mind-blowing to me. And I want to not misinform you guys, so I want to refer to my notes. Sorry, this is a really bad angle. Okay, back at it. So it was hold on, let me find it. Oh, sorry, Boots, I just stepped on you. Look, he's like, dude, what is going on? Sorry. I'm on a mission to share my guilty knowledge. Okay, so it was so we started talking about the David Hawkins scale of consciousness. And the scale is from 0 to 1,000, and it goes from, 0 to 1,000. Sorry, it's pretty straightforward. And 200 kind of marks whether or not the vibrations are being driven by love or by fear. So basically, I'm going to show you guys. The graph kind of looks like this. And you see kind of the funnel, and there's the graph. So top half of the graph, 200 and above, you're operating from a place of love. And if your vibrations are 200 or below, you're operating from a place of fear. So that being said, really high on the scale are feelings like enlightenment. So when you're vibrating really high, what are you feeling, right? When you're vibrating really high, you've got willingness. The higher you vibrate, then your acceptance, love, joy, peace, and at the top is enlightenment. It's holy vibration. You're vibrating so hard that you're just enlightened all the time, and you're in constant flow, and shit is rocking. And we've all had those days, right, where we've been in a crazy grind. Usually it comes to when it's down to the wire and we get in total focus, total flow, and we start kicking major ass, and our vibrations start to raise really high because we're that effective. We're operating from a place of love. We're coming at things from our vision. We are totally enrolling, and it's because we're super passionate, right? Our vibrations are super high. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, when you start to dip below 200, so when your vibrations start to kind of spiral downward, those look like pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy. And guess what the lowest two are on the scale? Guilt and shame, the lowest vibrations on the planet. And I thought that was really interesting, because here I am beating myself up as I'm at this conference about why I'm not fully in it, and why I'm not operating at 100%, and what's wrong with me, and blah, blah, blah. Guilt, guilt, guilt. Being hard on myself, being hard on myself, being hard on myself. My continual unworthiness conversation that I have internally with myself, right? Now that I've become aware of it, I'm fully aware. So as I'm sitting there and she's talking about this consciousness scale, I'm like, holy shit, here I am for 8 hours today as I'm sitting in this chair being hard on myself, I'm dealing with guilt. And how low am I bringing my vibration down just by being guilty and by thinking about my guilt? So it made me really realize, it was kind of like a little bit of a light bulb. I was like, oh shit, look at that. Thank you, universe, for the gift and my scale of consciousness to now learn to shift from it. So often, those of us, especially those who I find were raised really religious in a really structured environment, struggle with things like this, where they have really black and white regulations and rules that they were taught to follow or taught are right or wrong. And if we're not following that strategic pathway that we're kind of ingrained to think right or wrong, we feel guilty. And I feel like those of us who are raised really religious often sometimes deal with more guilt. It's just what I've seen from like coaching friends and family. But, you may not be religious at all and still deal with guilt. And guilt can really hold us back. For me, I struggle with guilt in a variety of different ways. You may think that this is super weird, but for me, when I have fun, so when I'm not working, when I'm like doing things for myself or having fun or basically not working, I feel guilty about it. Why? I don't know. For some reason, I'm ingrained and programmed to just work constantly and not take a break and feel like that's normal. But instead, I'm now learning how to take breaks and play and learn to enjoy myself without feeling guilty. But for so long, I realized that I was carrying this guilt around with me anytime I would like go hang out with friends at a trivia night or just play games or just take time for myself. I would sit on the couch coloring and be like, I'm not working. I feel guilty about that. Should I be working? Do I have stuff to do? Oh my God, what's on my to-do list? Oh my goodness. Constant turmoil I'd be giving myself. So I encourage you guys, if you struggle with guilt, just think about it. How low are you bringing down your vibration by carrying that shit around with you? You are so far beyond deserving of any time that you take for yourself, anything that you want to do in life without feeling guilty about it. And, this is something that I constantly struggle with, so it's not easy, and it's much easier said than done. I can spew out this to you on Melissa's Musings, but it does not make it easy. This is something I struggle with every day. And a lot of the messages that I come with on my musings are things that I struggle with every day, and it's only because my breakdowns, my constant breakdowns, lead me to the breakthroughs that I ultimately want to share with you guys, because I hope that by learning from my own mistakes, you maybe can bypass the same mistakes and just start out in a stellar position. But failure is amazing, and there's nothing to replace it. That being said, I encourage you guys to just be present and be wholeheartedly in whatever it is that you're doing, because there's no reason that life is far too short, right, to not be doing what we love or to be carrying around guilt and all that shit that weighs us down. So I encourage you to let it all go and have a happy Friday. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Talk to you soon.